This video is not for you. It's for her. I'd love you to watch it, but don't expect me performing at elite athletic levels, even though I know that's what you're used to.
This is nuts.
Because this is for her, not you. And you can't moan because everything you've ever seen here would not exist without her. So you might now be thinking, A, does she only wear bikinis? And B, how is she responsible for this? So before I make her video, I'll tell you. 10 years ago, yesterday, I'd just done my journey back from obesity, mainly to save my marriage. So I was now 40, divorced and very hungry. I was skinny fat, doing a job I no longer enjoyed and feeling like everything was going to be going downhill from there. And how does Tinder work? And then the last 10 years and a day began. I had a meeting with a manager to see if I should be sacked before the disaster that my life had become started to seriously impact on my work. With hindsight, it was good they didn't know quite how bad it was. And she was there, a trainee taking notes during the meeting. I was in such a depressed state that I didn't even really notice her until I got up to leave, when she spoke for the first time and asked if everything going wrong in my life, which most people had been doing nothing other than offering sympathy for, was I to blame. And I might have just fallen in love right there. Because what a great question. If everything around you is falling apart, surely you're the first person to examine when it comes to who is responsible. Doesn't mean you are responsible, but you might be. Next day I couldn't even remember what she looked like. Probably would have done if she'd worn a bikini, but also couldn't remember the last time anybody had been so innocent and usefully blunt. She wasn't being mean, just asking the obvious. So I tracked down her contact details, dropped her an email, and we chatted back and forth, during which I discovered that she was 25, and therefore the likelihood of agreeing to even grab a coffee with a newly divorced, highly depressed father of 4 in his 40s, on the verge of becoming unemployed, was very unlikely, unless she had some sort of weird dysfunctional father-figure relationship compulsion thing going on. So we had that coffee, and here we are. How has that benefited you? Well, because 10 years ago when I told her that it was a pity life no longer held any sense of adventure for me, she pretty much insisted that I remind myself how to ride a motorbike, fly to Africa, hire one, and then travel around on my own for a few weeks. Because why not? I said, well, they've got baboons. For a start, she said, you got divorce lawyers here. Off I went. And on that trip, I learned to stop underestimating what I could do, or at least try to do. When she told me if I ever went back, she'd join me, I laughed and said sure. The next year, she'd taken a motorcycle test and we went to Africa together. I learned never to underestimate anybody. You want to do something? Try. Maybe you can do it. And the following year, we took our own bikes around the mountains of Europe, and I discovered even when you can't do something, if you're with the right person, it just becomes an adventure to try anyway. We got stuck in snowdrifts on top of mountains. Didn't matter. We got caught in thunderstorms on top of mountains. Didn't matter either. We fell off our bikes, in her case, off the side of a mountain. Actually, that one mattered. That was quite a serious situation. But it turned out fine. And it taught me, really, if the roller coaster isn't going up and down, is it even a fun ride anyway? And then you got me, because having rediscovered adventure, I mentioned in passing it would be nice to have a creative outlet. And so despite my YouTube channel then being nothing more than me riding a motorbike with 14 subscribers watching, she pushed me to just make more videos anyway, doing what I said. She said, ride your exercise bike in the garage. I said, who's going to watch that? She said, that's a fair point, probably nobody, unless you fall off it or something. And as I threw myself more and more into YouTube, at the expense of actually earning a living, she did not say, but what about this or what about that? She just said, keep doing it if you're enjoying it. And even when I said, it's nuts to keep going with this, she was the one who said, no, it's nuts to quit and not see where it might go. So I kept making content. I kept doing what I was enjoying doing. I entered races with my dog. I did races that took me all day. I did events in different countries, did sports I'd never even have thought to have done otherwise. I made it my full-time job. And she went from seeing that to helping out with filming, and then eventually starting to exercise too, so she could be in the videos. And many times I would ask her, do you want to be doing this? Lifting weights, riding bikes, running ultra marathons? Do you want to be doing that? And she would say, not all the time, but it's us doing something together, and if it helps you out, I'm happy. Don't forget to book that holiday I sent you a link to. That's why this would not exist without her. To be as I was in your mid-40s, trained to do nothing other than the thing you're stuck in a rut doing, and just decide what the hell I give something else a go, is not easy until someone helps you see that it is, or at least trying it is, and then you realise the hardest thing would have been not doing it and living with that. When we got married, our vows to each other were that we would never allow our relationship to become boring, and we would always say yes to each other in our quest to try new things that one of us may have thought of or wanted to do that the other hadn't. Before you discuss a similar arrangement with your own partner, you do require a high degree of trust to exist first.
Whoa, 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 whoa.
And that always say yes vow has proven itself over and over again. We have done things that the others suggested that we would probably have never done without that commitment to say yes in place.
Oh, shit.
And it's made for a good 10 years, and the next 10 years are now beginning with us about to relocate to the middle of absolutely nowhere, an insane decision that I can't even remember which one of us asked the other to say yes to. Doesn't matter, one of us wanted it, now we both want it. Unless it turns out to be a complete disaster and we have to move back, in which case it was her idea. I'm serious, those bikinis are endless. So yeah, that's why I'm going to make this video for her, and why it's not for you, but you can choose to watch if you wish. Although I've kind of run out of time now, so I guess just thank you.